Evaluation question number 4. How did you use media technologies in construction, research, planning, and evaluation questions? In terms of our research and planning, one of the main features of technology we used was YouTube. We used it for a variety of reasons. We used it for clips to analyse, to find concepts to use in our music video, to inspire us, and also tutorials to help us create more challenging.
Just to really widen our knowledge.
Yeah.
So firstly, on our blog, it'd be the rotoscoping.
Yeah, our initial idea was to rotoscope, which is the use of hand-drawn images, frame by frame, and then put together to make a video. We did a lot of research into this, like how to do it, what software is best to use it, but in the end we just thought it would be too difficult, so we decided not to.
Then obviously this followed by the green screen.
The green screen idea again was for our old idea of this psychedelic, almost drug trip. Should we say about that? Yeah. Which we would have used green screens for, which would have aided massively with the visual effects. But again, we had to change our idea because our teacher felt it was a bit unrealistic. More YouTube tutorials that we used that were incredibly effective that we did use in our final music video was how to create double exposure images.
This basically just had one image where we'd edit, cut out, and then a second image be put over the top, and be changed to an overlay. This was used in our digipack, on the second page of our digipack, primarily because we felt that it was really a really effective way of having two different images put onto each other, and really just reinforced Tyler's start image within the digipack itself.
Without the use of YouTube, our music video would be completely different. It definitely wouldn't be as good because, again, we used tutorials to create the parallax, which really allowed us to summarise our music video, but also added this element of difference to other music videos that we felt were effective in creating something unique.
So the parallax really consisted of a photo shoot with a black a felt backdrop, which really absorbed all the light, so we didn't have any shadows or anything on it. And then obviously 3-point lighting, and then a bunch of different positions of myself and my girlfriend. And then this was edited in Photoshop, so the couple was cut out of Photoshop, of the backdrop, sorry, and then put layers on layers on layers, and then brought into the camera and stuff. And we just felt that I wouldn't have been able, with previous knowledge, knowing how to do it on After Effects, I wouldn't have been able to do it on Photoshop at all. So After Effects is a lot easier because you have different bits, but After Effects wasn't available to us. So we felt that using a YouTube tutorial would be the best way to teach ourselves how to do it without having to bother teachers, because obviously teachers weren't 100% on how to do it themselves. So the YouTube really helped out with it, didn't it? And especially with the double exposure as well. I knew kind of how to do it, but I didn't know 100% how to do it. So using the tutorials was able to just refresh my knowledge and really make sure we got it right every first time. Secondly, to YouTube, it helped to it inspired us greatly with different concepts and different bits to use within our music video. So the first being touch sensitive pizza guy, as previously mentioned in our blogs. There's a lot of different concepts that we've used within ours. The first being the overlay image, so the Duke Dumont Ocean Drive being cut out and having the panning shot of the car driving around. This can be found in Pizza Guy because it has a panning shot of a car as it drives towards the camera with touch sensitive Pizza Guy cut out. The bokeh effect within a different camera angles were greatly found in that as well.
Also from YouTube, we found the idea for the parallax from a song called Living Fiction by the group called White. again, without YouTube, we wouldn't have found this video and we wouldn't have had the idea. We found videos to visualize the types of music videos within the early stages of our blogs, where we were writing about different forms of music videos, such as amplification videos, illustration videos, and performance videos.
We've then obviously researched like different song ideas to use like within the planning stages. So firstly we had MGMT with Electric Feel, but we felt like a psychedelia video wouldn't be a best way to portray, like, to really show what we were capable of. Then secondly being the Duke Dumont Ocean Drive, but this was like a getaway type scene, but we felt that again it didn't really show, like it wasn't what the lyrics portrayed, like it wasn't what was shown. So we felt that having an emotional breakup alongside, like playing parallel to the artist, we felt that that would be more appropriate, and obviously with getting such a high grade we've really achieved that, haven't we? Following this, we've analysed two different existing like car-based films. First being Lock, which you
we looked at Lock. We looked at Lock to sort of teach ourselves what sort of camera angles are effective when filming with a car. So from like using a GoPro on a bonnet, or filming into the wing mirror to see the reflection of the driver,
as well as seeing where like direction of travel.
Yeah.
Like it has two different meanings within one shot.
And again, we also used the movie Drive to again reevaluate the camera angles, which you did.
Yeah. So Drive was a film that I saw. So I like firstly saw the like revamped audio one done by Radio 1 or BBC or whatever it was. But it was like a really good way of seeing seeing the capabilities of camera angles and stuff, like whilst the car is driving. Like it really opened my eyes, as well as like the group's eyes, of like stuff that could be done. And obviously with owning a GoPro and a suction cup mount, we were able to basically like recreate all of these shots within the comfort of, like, I guess our homes, because we were able to do all of this without the need of spending money on drones for drone shots and different things like that. We were all like able to recreate all the shots just with our own hands.
Another platform of media we used was Google, the search engine. We mainly use this for gathering information on things like conventions of music videos, theories of music videos, such as Andrew Goodwin's theory or Sigmund Freud's theory, and just ideas really on how we could film stuff, or just inspiration in general. But most of all, we used Google a lot for how-to.
Like tutorials, so when we was looking at double exposure, we'd have the tutorials and we'd watch the tutorials, but then if it wasn't quite clear on like how to do a certain aspect, we'd Google it, or like how do you do this, or how do you do that. And especially on like post-production editing, when we was using like Final Cut Pro, we had a few little issues with like colour grading and like the different effects and stuff, and like how to change the exposure of some images, and like how to dampen the exposure and like bring out the shadows and bring out the whites and stuff. Like using Google and like the how-tos of that was really simple, rather than having to watch through a 20-minute YouTube video on like how to do like a 2-minute job. Like it wasn't really like appropriate, was it, to use YouTube for stuff like that. So we felt that using Google would be a more beneficial way. Following like that, we've also used like Gmail within Google. This to like ask for to gain copyright permission to actually use the song itself. Gmail, when we was inquiring about copyright permission, because obviously we're only going to use it for educational purposes and we're not going to monetize it or anything like that. But it was just to really like reinforce that we aren't, like, no copyright infringement is intended at all. And obviously in the description of the video as well, we've got no copyright infringement intended. But yeah, it was predominantly used to, because obviously firstly I emailed a number of different people and found that you'd have to go through a number of different things, and you'd have to buy the rights to use the song and stuff like that. Piece of media we used was WordPress to obviously create our blog. Like without WordPress, we wouldn't have our blog.
And most significantly is the use of Final Cut, because without that we wouldn't have been able to put our video together, our preliminary video, to be able to put onto our blog to show everybody. So within the construction of our actual music video, again, cameras were the Canon 600D and GoPro on different lenses, and also with this we added the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6 for their slow motion capabilities. We could use the Canon or the GoPro with the camera just the same rates, but using the iPhone it was just so much easier.
We also used tripods we used a tripod predominantly in our final shot of the video. So the camera's on a tripod and the car drives up, and I walked and sit on a rock, and then we've also used a tripod when creating the parallax images and other images used in our digipack. Right. So the other camera died. Yeah, the other camera died. It died. YouTube.
So another media technology we used was YouTube. This allowed us to get the overlay video for our projector, but more significantly it allowed us to upload our video so we could share it onto our blogs and things like that.
Yeah.
For our evaluation questions, we used a range of media technologies, computer software, again, YouTube and stuff like that. Most importantly, we used Excel for...
That was to create our like pie charts and bar charts, just to really like show our information that we gathered when we handed out our questionnaires.
We used cameras and tripods to film these evaluation questions.
Yeah, use the same camera as before, use the same 50mm lens, and then obviously we've used a Final Cut again to just edit all the bad points out.
And YouTube, again, to distribute our work.
And again, share it onto our blogs.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Overall, we used a massive range of media technologies to help with the planning, research, construction and the evaluation questions of our music video.
Yes, without these technologies we wouldn't have been able to create what we have. Boom!
Home time! Well, almost.